Hi, this is Haley.
And this is Heather.
And you're watching the Dunnit Sisters, a Kansas City true crime podcast. This episode is on Latisha Hare. She went missing on January 31st, 2014, and was then found the following Monday, February 3rd, in a vacant home. Gwen Smith, her aunt, invited us into her home and told us about her niece and what occurred. If you stick with us to the end, we will discuss things that weren't mentioned in the interview.
Hi, Latisha Hare was my niece. We were very close. We always had a close bond. She was so sweet and she was always so friendly. She could make friends with just about anybody. She loved to laugh and have fun. She spent a lot of time out here growing up at my house. And she always had a positive attitude through everything. And she had been through a lot, especially the last 5.5 years of her life. She became pregnant at 16, and she was 7 months pregnant when her dad was killed, who was my brother. So that was very difficult for her, but she was a survivor. She was her daddy's little girl. They were very close, so when he was killed, it was hard. We did as much as we could for her. Always spent time with her, the kids. She would come and stay with us for a while, but she always wanted to be independent. But she was always welcome here, and we always did whatever we could for her. And then a year before, she had her daughter, Alana. So she had 2 kids. She was doing her best to raise. She did a good job. They both loved her so much, and they do still miss her. So she lived on and off. She lived with us. She lived with other family members. In fact, she lived with us up until the week before she was killed. She had just moved out to move in with a friend. I didn't know that friend, but she wanted to be closer to her friends because her car had been stolen about months before that. I mean, we had paid to get her other car fixed, so, windshield had been broken and things like that. But we had fixed that for her, and then a couple months after that, somebody stole it. So
Was her windshield broken by an individual, or?
Yeah, it was broken.
How long ago was that? Before?
I think that was broken, I don't know, but maybe 5 months before.
Is she being picked on?
It did sound like it, yes. She was.
Think something might have been going on already that could still be related?
Yeah, I think, something. So she moved out on Tuesday, and then the next day, Wednesday, she came out to visit and do some laundry. So she spent the night. I always get up super early for work. So she was awake, and we had a good conversation. We were planning the birthday party for her daughter that we were going to have here that Saturday. We decided on the cake and decorations and all those things, and we were both excited. So I had to go to work, and she went home that day. And I had talked to her Thursday night again just to go over few more details about the birthday party. And then I didn't talk to her Friday, but her mom said that she had said she was going with some friends to the casino to celebrate someone's birthday. Unfortunately, I didn't know those friends. I knew that she moved in with a friend. Her name was Miranda. So Saturday came, and I was getting the decorations ready. I decorated. I had tried calling her, and she didn't pick up. And I called her again, and she didn't pick up. So I called her mom, and I called some friends that I knew, and nobody had heard from her. They hadn't heard from her since Friday night. But I didn't put any It never crossed my mind that anything had happened to her. I just thought that she misplaced her phone. And I went to work Monday, and I still hadn't heard from her. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and one of my leads came to me and said, "We need to go to the office because somebody's here to see you." I was like, okay. So I didn't know. I was walking up there, and I saw a friend of mine that she knew, Latisha, and her husband was a firefighter. So when she saw me, she's like, "You're still here?" I didn't know. I didn't have a clue what she was talking about. I was like, "Yeah." So she followed us out to the office area where my husband was, and he didn't come unless there was something wrong.
It's okay. Take your time.
And he said, I could tell something was wrong, but I would have never dreamed. He said, "Go get your things, we need to leave." He didn't want to tell me. I'm like, I knew something was wrong, but he's like, "I don't want to tell you here." I'm like, "Well, I have to tell my boss why I'm leaving." So he said, Latisha was found in a house, an abandoned house that had been set on fire. So I remember that clear as day, even though it's been 9.5 years since her murder. She was badly beaten and burned. I didn't get to see her body, but I know it was really bad, and her mom identified her by the tattoo with her dad's name and date of birth and date of death. So
that was her cause of death?
Yeah.
The beating?
Yeah, she was badly beaten. And then, even the police said that they weren't sure if she was killed there or not, but there were signs of homicide. The night of the casino, they went to the casino. Afterwards, they went back to somebody's house, and she was passed out. So Miranda, who was with her, she left her in the house, and she said that she had forgotten her purse at the casino. Actually, that's a story that I saw on Facebook right after it happened, because I think the Miranda girl, there must have been people asking her about it, because I remember her Facebook, she was trying to explain herself. She said that she just left her there just for a short time because she forgot her purse at the casino. But, and then she went back and she wasn't there. She said there was a lot of men in that house. Why would you leave a young woman in the house with a lot of men who probably had been drinking that night and by herself, asleep? I would never do that. And she claimed she was her best friend, but I would never do that to any of my friends. I would never go leave them in a place. One time somebody did tell me that they thought it was her boyfriend had set her up because she was pregnant by him. But I know detectives did talk to him. I've heard that she was killed at one place, and then they took her to that abandoned house. I had heard it was a group of people that did it. They were hired by somebody. And I have heard one story that she was raped, and then they didn't want to get in trouble, so they killed her. So I don't know if any of those stories are true, but something happened between Friday I'm almost sure it happened that night because, and they just moved her body on. They found her early Monday morning, so in the middle of the night they moved her, and set the fire on the house. The boyfriend that she was with, he had come to the house a couple times. He seemed like he really cared for her, but nobody could find him right after that weekend either, so. Every time I called the detectives, they just were never helpful. They rushed me off the phone. It's like I was trying to ask questions and they're like, okay, I got your information down, I'll put it down, and that's it.
When was
they
the
were like,
last you heard from them? Do you remember? Or did you see the detectives?
I don't remember the last time. It's been a few years.
Really?
Yeah, and they said that it was a cold case because they don't have any leads. But I thought it was kind of weird because luckily the person down the street saw the fire before it didn't completely burn the house. So it didn't completely burn her. But it had snowed around that time, so you would think that there would have been footprints that they could have followed up on in the muddy ground, but they have no leads. So there's got to be people that know, that just want to protect their friends. I thought it was kind of strange that the one friend that she moved in with, she got a tattoo with her name on her the day after she was found. I thought that was very strange.
Because she hadn't known her very long?
Not that I know of. I had never heard her name until Latisha told me that she was going to move in with her.
But you feel like you know the names of her, like, good friends, is that
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you would say? Like,
when
you know her,
really,
her group.
really close
set,
friends,
right.
yes.
So this is someone
But-
you've never heard of before.
Right. This was somebody I hadn't heard of.
Do you know if Miranda had been questioned by police?
Yes,
She has been.
She has
Been
been.
questioned by police.
I know she was questioned, and her boyfriend at the time was questioned, and there was some other people that were questioned, but I don't know their names.
Okay.
There should have been footage at the casino.
Yeah, you would.
You never heard back from them about that.
I don't.
Because obviously we didn't see Miranda show back up getting her purse. So that's
Yeah, yeah. I don't know I don't really know what kind of evidence I don't even think that they really investigated too well because of her name. Because her sister had been in trouble, her mom had been in trouble, my brother had been in trouble. So I don't think they cared to solve it. People think that it's snitching, but it's not. This is something, if you know something, you should tell, because you're helping family members. It doesn't bring the person back, but it helps to know what happened and to know that they're being punished for their crime. Although I know that they will be judged by God for their crimes, but it's still hard to not know, and to know the people who did it are still running the streets like nothing happened. And the people that know, they can't not tell anyone, so they have had to tell other people. Mm-hmm. It's hard. I miss her. I don't have any kids, so my nieces and nephews are my kids. They're not my kids, but she and I were very close, and she was like the daughter I never had. But I don't know. I just wish somebody would come forward. Somebody knows. And it would be so comforting to at least know for sure what happened. And Latisha's gone. Her kids miss her. Her family misses her. I mean, that's something we can never get back. But she was a sweet girl. She would do anything for anyone, so I can't believe anybody would beat her severely like that. I just can't, it's just hard to believe, so I don't know what happened. I just want someone to come forward.
So what we know is that it's another episode on, we feel, maybe friends who aren't really friends, or a setup.
That whoever she was with that Friday night and went to the casino, they obviously know a lot more because she was last seen with them. And while I know that they have talked to the police, we know people talk.
Right.
And there's been talk on social media. So it's what was going on, when they came back from the casino. What happened at the home that she allegedly went to? And then there's got to be more people involved, especially if she was not killed at that vacant home, but she was moved there and then set on fire.
Which we went to the home, and I'm sure not much has changed. It would have been a lot to try to carry her into that home.
Exactly. And how long? I mean, she was last seen Friday.
Which I wonder if there's surveillance. That's still, we'll never know.
We'll never know about the surveillance cameras, but, and whether or not the friend truly went back and got her purse. Did you go back and get your purse?
The only thing is, though, probably not.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it, okay? And it also, it bothers us that one of the stories is that Latisha and her roommate leave the casino and go, I guess, wind up at this house. And then the roommate says that she accidentally left her purse at the casino, and so she's going to go back and get it. And then when she comes back to that house, Latisha's gone. Well, she didn't try to go look for her, though. I mean,
she didn't report her
missing. She didn't call the family. And Latisha had a birthday party for her child the next day and didn't show up.
No call, no show.
No show.
Which isn't usual.
Right. And this roommate has claimed to be Latisha's best friend. So therefore, she would know that Latisha was planning on going to this party for her child. It just, again, blows my mind that, they didn't do a responsible thing, which was, where is she? Let's go look for her.
And the story was also that she was picked up from the home. So, of course, that's an easy excuse as where she went. Oh, someone came and got her.
Okay.
So.
Who? There's too much going on right there for the people there not to, look into this.
Mm-hmm.
Months before Latisha's death, the windshield on her car was broken, intentionally broken. Mm-hmm. And then her car was stolen. And so we can't help but wonder if this might have been also tied in somehow. If
jealousy, or this was just really personal.
Very suspicious activity. Very suspicious. And they have talked.
Also, the family hasn't heard from the detectives in years. And in fact, they don't even know who the detective is on this case.
Days after Latisha had died, the detective had made a comment to the mom that this wasn't the only case he was working on. And when she'd asked about DNA, he was basically said it doesn't matter. I mean, you can get DNA anywhere.
You can get DNA in my office.
Right.
Back
So
when DNA wasn't a big deal.
Right.
So that shocked me. Okay.
we know that people talk, and we really need people to come forward.
And tell us what you know. Tell them what you know.
You can email us. When we submit tips, we don't give your name. You can do that, or
You can go directly to the website, www.p3tips.com. Or you can call, of course, or remain anonymous, but it's, I think, easier if you either go to the website or you can let us know. And if you want to be anonymous, we won't say a word.
we never do.
So please help this family. Her aunt is crushed, and you can just feel her sorrow, and I think it's time to solve this. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks.
And please subscribe and share.
Thank you.
Thanks.